Well, Fabrizio Freda's story is quite special because he is the first non-family member who runs this family company, which is Estée Lauder. Estée Lauder was founded in 1946 by Mrs. Estée Lauder and was always managed by members of the family until 2008 when they hired Fabrizio, and then in 2009 they appointed him as CEO of the company. So Fabrizio, my first question is, which qualities do you think the family found in you so that they could trust you as the new leader of the company?
We should ask them this question, but I'll try to interpret what I got. And first of all, to be appointed as CEO of a big company, you need to, people expect you have the skills to manage the business. So that's the obvious part. My specific characteristic is that I manage the business really from a strategic standpoint, and I'm a brand builder. And so in terms of the profile as a leader, I would say ability to manage change and manage strategy and ability to manage brands are the things that qualify for the kind of company we are. However, I don't think that's the most important thing. The most important thing is to manage a family-controlled company, I believe you need to share the family values, the values of the company, and the principles which are behind the company. And that's true for Estée Lauder, frankly, I believe it's true for every family company. And I did share this value, the value for quality of products and quality of services as the first priority, the value of the big respect for creativity and everything that creativity can do, and the value of respect for entrepreneurship and the ability to continuously lead in change and proceed in change, and most importantly, the long-term orientation of the company. Those are the big themes that brought us together. Mm-hmm. And so I would say that, yes, definitely the Lauder family chose me as their partner, and I was frankly very happy to choose them as my partner, because it is very important that this goes on both sides, and this respect goes on both sides. And so Estée Lauder company is a great company, but the Lauder family is an amazing family, and they have a great sense of business. William Lauder always says, we are a family in business, mm-hmm. meaning is the intense participation to mm-hmm. the history, the business life that makes them different from
in fact, many generations are working in the company
yes,
right now. Yeah. So among the qualities they found in you, they appreciated in you, do you think that being Italian is one of them? I mean, Italy is la grande bellezza, the great beauty. So generally speaking, do you think that being Italian is a plus for you working in the beauty industry?
I think so. I don't know if everyone agrees with that, but I believe that being Italian teaches you many aspects. The Italian culture is filled with beauty, as you say, but most important is filled with culture, and is filled with values of conviviality and understanding the other people. I believe that in all industry, but particularly in the luxury industry, really understanding the values of beauty, conviviality, social elements, basically understanding how life can be pleasant and what people want to extract out of life, not only in terms of commitment and work, which are common to every culture, but also in terms of appreciating the positive values of life. This is important for our industry, and I think so this cultural element helps. I would say that even the Napolitan aspect, how you call it, I don't remember, how you define might be Napolitan, but the Napolitan aspect also, which is, I believe, is the element of creativity and the ability to value creativity and improvisation. Napoli is a city where obviously there are many difficult things. It's a city where many things can be difficult, and I think Napolitans, particularly people like me that have been growing in Napoli all their youth, is they need to go through very tough challenges to get through it. Mm-hmm. And so you learn how to fight for doing things, how to get through things to achieve success. There is a beautiful song, I'm sure you all know, that says, if you make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. I always say, this is really easy. If you can make it in Napoli, you can make it anywhere. And I want to give one example, what we have done on talent. We have done what we call reverse mentorship. You and I talked about that,
yes,
correct?
the first time I interviewed you for Corriere della Sera, you mentioned that. You said that you hired millennials to be reverse mentors to all the top managers of the company, including you.
Including me. I'm learning.
What did you learn?
I've learned, first of all, I do have a mentor. Well, we changed, so I don't have the same way we had at that time. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I have a reverse mentor.
How does it work?
That we meet, first of all, this person is a young employee of the company, which is in charge to making the CEO updated on everything is happening that I don't see. Mm-hmm. Now, I have the help of my children on that, but she's helping me a lot as well. And so she sends me email, she sends me everything she sees in her life, or we have a meeting every month of about an hour. We meet regularly every month where I listen and I learn, and she tells me, or I would go with her in important meetings where I make big decisions on brands, on things, and I want the point of view. Mm-hmm. And now, in this moment, we have the 270 most senior manager in the company. They have a reverse mentor, which is under 30.
Under 30.
And so when you have all this huge influence of the young generation over the senior generation, you accelerate the transformation.
How do you hire these reverse mentors?
Oh, they are normal hire is new employees that we hire in the normal way. They're brilliant young people that come from MBAs, university all over the world. So it's not a special hiring channel. It's just that we ask some of them to mentor us. Mm-hmm. And by the way, they rotate. So many people have these opportunities, not dedicated to few. They rotate, and there are two benefits. First of all, we are more updated, and they have a much faster understanding of issues. Because all of a sudden, you are young in an organization, you have been working 2 years in a big company, and you are exposed to a senior manager meeting where they take very important decisions, and they ask your point of view. Mm-hmm. That didn't happen to me in Procter & Gamble many years ago. So it's really a new way to look at things. By the way, this new generation that we call millennial, but basically are all the young people of the world, they actually expect that. That's a big difference. They want to have an impact much faster. Mm-hmm. If they don't, they really don't like the companies that they join.
They leave. Mm-hmm.
They leave if they can afford it, but for sure they are unhappy.
Uh-huh. You mentioned your children. They are in the 20s, so they are millennials. Do you use them as your antenna on the millennials world?
I do. They use me as well in many aspects because, but yes, absolutely. I learned about, when I was their age, I was learning about technology and new things from my father. Now I'm learning from my children. I'm the only generation that never learned from myself. Anything about technology and things is all coming from somebody else. And yes, my children are super important on keeping me awake on the new realities. Frankly, I speak to them, particularly to my older son, which is already out of university. I speak to him about business, about his point of views regularly. And I think this is new. This is new, it is generational. This was not happening before, was not needed. In the past, all of us would do choices that will improve our professional ability based on experience. The experience of the last 10 years was very important to make the right decision for the next 2 years. I would like to argue that today the experience is worth less and less, and more is worth the vision, the idea of a future that today doesn't exist. The world is changing so fast that the ability to see the future and to imagine it is much more important than the experience you had in the last 10 years. And interestingly, the young generation, including my children, can help you in seeing a different future. I call this technically, I don't do strategy by continuous improvement. I do strategy by reverse engineering, meaning I set a vision of the future that I believe is right and then ask myself and my team, what do you need to achieve to get there? Reverse engineer what needs to happen. So what we do next year is not the results of last year improved. It's the results of the vision reverse engineer. That is a completely different process. Actually, universities don't teach this methodology. But that's the methodology of the future, which is needed because of the very fast change of society, and the speed of change.
Mm-hmm. The company was founded by a woman, Estée Lauder, and also two other famous American brands in the beauty industry were founded by women, Helena Rubinstein, Elizabeth Arden, which are the characters of a new beautiful Broadway show, War Paint.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Not yet.
It's very funny and very well done. So,
I will go.
I mean, I guess that 70 years ago, being a founder, a businesswoman was pretty tough. What do you think about the role of women in today's businesses as entrepreneurs, CEOs, in a company?
I think it's fundamental, and I think the women's are a super important elements of our profession, companies, and things, and we should continue supporting the increased roles of women in our companies. As far as the Lauder company is concerned, we are in a very in a great position. First of all, as you said, we've been funded by women, and second, as I explained so far, our customers are women, and today about 80% of our global employees are women.
80?
80. Mm-hmm. And when you go to management, because this includes the people in the stores that are in the large majority women, but even when you go to the people in the office, we are 60% of people are women. When you go to the board, half of my board is board of directors are women. We go to my diary report, 50% of my diary reports are women. Or if you go to any role in the company, which are more than 200, or senior vice president above, more than 50% are women. So is really, in our case, women are at the company. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's no discussion. So it's not the question of what we can do more, it's the soul of the company. Women are essential to that soul.
Why do you think in other industries, other companies, the level is much lower? I think it's between 10-20% in the management level.
I think it's a combination of two things. The first thing is that maybe these companies have not been intentional enough on that. I believe the role of the CEO is to drive inclusion on every aspect. Now you are asking about women, but frankly, I drive inclusion on every single aspect. Gender, race, cultural diversity, creativity, sense of international, nationality. Diversity is essential because diversity is the center of creativity. If you have people that look all the same, have been educated the same way, all speak the same language, how can you create the new and the difference? I mean, it's very challenging. And I believe that, so diversity is essential, inclusion is essential. Women are the core of this inclusion strategy for us. If it is not happening at a company, it's because the CEO or the senior management are not putting enough determination on that, in my opinion. There is no other reason. Maybe the only other reason which I've seen is that some industries are not liked by women, meaning women don't like the industry. And so in this case, obviously it's natural there will be less women because they're not chosen by women. But that's the minority of cases. The majority of cases is the determination of the senior leadership to have the right level of inclusion.
Talking about creativity, let's talk about art. One member of the family, actually one of the sons of Mrs. Estée Lauder is Ronald Lauder, who is still an executive officer in the company, but above all, he's a great philanthropist, and he's the founder of the Neue Gallery, which is a fantastic museum.
Amazing.
Yes, and thanks to him, we have, for example, the beautiful woman in gold, the Gustav Klimt portrait. I guess you've been to the museum several times.
Several times.
Does art inspire you?
Enormously. Art inspired me, has always inspired me. Now working side to side with the Lauder family inspires me even more because they have an amazing taste, an amazing depth of culture in this world, and I've learned a lot from them in this area, including in the Neue Gallery, which I believe is one of the best museums in the city. And also because the meaning of it, the values which are in it are extraordinary, like the art which is contained in it. So I have enormous personal pleasure, and also art is very close to the company culture, for obvious reason. I don't know if you know, but in our office in the GM building, the stairs that connect the floors have art. And every employee can choose the art, the one in their office, and change it depending on the theme, because the art is for everyone, and the art inspires the creativity and the ability to change art around you, in a way give you the sense that you are expected to change your business. You are expected to change what you're doing. You're expected to lead change. And so creativity, art, inspiration is available for you as far as you lead change. It's not about external management or family. It's just both. And it's how they work together that makes the magic. Understanding the strengths of the company, understanding the value of being in a family business, and being humble enough to understand that if these businesses are strong, it's because most of these families have done an amazing job in building these businesses.